Hello everyone, my name is Martin, also known as Tantacruel, and in this video I'm going to be quickly outlining how and why we redesigned the palettes panel in MuseScore. So for a new user opening MuseScore for the first time, palettes can be a slightly daunting and baffling experience. To begin, things go pretty well. There are a couple of useful options here, which you can open up and look through, but if you try to edit or rearrange them in any way, no such luck. But if everything here is what you need, then that's fine, you can work with this. However, if there's something missing, you need to now figure out to change this drop-down to say Advanced. Drop-downs, by the way, shouldn't appear below the thing they refer to, but anyway. Once you've done that, you're now exposed to much more stuff, including things that the majority of people will never use in their entire life, like bagpipe embellishments. There's so many of them. So when I was a noob, what I didn't realise until a lot of research and a lot of experimentation was that you actually can edit your setup by clicking on this plus button down here in the bottom right corner. But even after that, you still can't make alterations. You now need to figure out to right click on a palette like this and select an option called Enable Editing. And only now can you actually change things. Moreover, there's actually another palette called the Master Palette that contains even more stuff, but appears in a giant window that blocks your score. Oh dear. So, when looking at MuseScore and figuring out what to work on, I thought, before we begin making the app look nicer, before we begin even thinking about new features, there's actually a lot of stuff, a lot of great functionality here that I don't think many people know how to use, which just needs to be unlocked. So how about, instead of changing things dramatically, we simply rearrange them so that people can edit and customize palettes much more easily and quickly. So here's what we've done. First of all, we've moved workspaces to a more sensible location and stopped it being an obstacle to editing, so no more beginner advanced stuff. It's just not needed. Instead, when you first open the app, we display a few common palettes which you can immediately rearrange or remove as you see fit. And if you click on this button, you're shown all the available palettes, which you can now add to your main list individually. And by the way, if you remove something from the main list, it appears back here again. And the editing freedom doesn't stop there. In each individual palette, you can now rearrange elements as you see fit, and by clicking on this More button, you get access to all the other available elements which you can drag and drop back and forth immediately. No need for that big clunky window anymore. And if you want to remove something from the list by pressing the delete key, it returns back here again, so you don't have to worry about accidentally deleting something important. And now, here's my favourite part. So, say you're just not interested in multiple palettes at all. You're a simple person, and all you want is a simple list. Well, just click on Add Palettes, and then create a custom palette. Now you can simply drag whatever you want into it and delete everything else. To be honest, this is actually how I like to work. And here's the palette I created for myself. So I no longer have to scroll anymore. And we've also packaged this with a few accessibility improvements too. For example, people can now toggle to individual palettes and select them using their keyboard. So this is the very beginning of the improvements that you're going to be seeing from now on. We're not even done with palettes, which still needs a lot more work, not the least of which is a much needed lick of paint. Ugh. It's much better to release incrementally in order to receive feedback rather than dump gigantic changes on people all in one go. So if you can, it will really help if you could take the time to press the feedback button and let us know what you think, what you like, what you don't like, and if there's anything else you'd like to see improved before we finish. The massive advantage of MuseScore is its large and very vocal community, and I intend to harness it to the fullest extent. So thanks very much, and I hope you enjoyed these new design improvements.